Hello everybody, this is Autistic_Mind, and today I am joined with a very special guest. Respect yourself. Would you like to say hello?
Hello.
So, I am going to be asking Claire some questions um, about respect yourself. So, for the people who are watching who don't know what respect yourself is, um, can you tell us what respect yourself is?
Respect Yourself sends daily messages to young people between the age of 13 to 25, or if people need um, a daily message to help with different things they're going through. So that's a bit about it.
Great. So what inspired you to create Respect Yourself?
Okay, it started 5 years ago. My brother, at 16, thought he knew everything. And unfortunately, he got a motorbike and he was going to break the law by riding his motorbike without any road tax. Um, and I really didn't want him to get into trouble, but he thought it'd be okay and he'd tell the police if he gets caught without any road tax, he would just tell the police that it's in the post. And that's not the case. So what I did was I thought about it from a 16-year-old's point of view today. And I thought if I pick up the phone and say to him, you can't ride your bikes, if you get caught, you'll be in trouble and you might get fined. Um, I don't think it'd have quite the same impact. So what we did was we text over um, the consequences. So he could read for himself in a text what it was all about. And 3 seconds later, he texts back saying, "Okay, I'll leave the motorbike at yours." And the response he gave me was amazing because it was non-confrontational. I didn't tell him he couldn't ride his bike, and he had to make the choice himself. Fortunately, he made a very good choice, and it made me realise if that can help my brother Adam, it could help anybody. It's just information.
Yeah. Led
So
on.
that's
So that like one event has led on to a lot. I mean, you've got several thousand followers on Twitter. There are lots of celebrities who get in touch with Respect Yourself. It's a really good thing that has been created um, with something relatively simple. Well, that's probably not the way I should word it, but
I think you've actually got it right there. I think because it's simple, it makes sense.
yeah,
So yeah, I think using social media
yeah.
is the ideal way to get through.
So, why do you think Respect Yourself is so important?
I think we talk about things that everybody should be talking about, but sometimes they're the difficult subjects that people don't talk
Yeah,
about how to be safe, about how they feel, about bullying, about lots of different subjects. And it's kind of the sort of things that people don't necessarily talk about. So that's really the key thing. And it's just enough to read a small text or Twitter or Facebook um, without it taking up too much of their time, but it's a little bit of knowledge to help their future.
yeah. I mean, your information, helpful texts and tweets and posts cover a lot of subjects. I mean, I follow you on Twitter. I have seen your website. I mean, there's all sorts of things to like information about puberty, to bullying, autism. There's a whole spectrum of things that you talk about, and I think that that's really important because there are people who can talk about one thing. I mean, for me, I mostly talk about my autism, um, but it's good to see somebody talk about a whole range of things, because, I mean, people don't have to go searching for other people talking about these different subjects because they're only fixed to one thing. So I think that the concept of respect yourself is really clever in a way that it covers so many subjects. So what are your thoughts about bullying?
My personal thoughts. Oh gosh. There is no need. I think what concerns me is what's behind a bully and why people do bully. And I think taking the time to understand what they're going through, but at the same time, it's not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
My brother, who I was telling you about just a little while ago, when he was at school, because he's dyslexic, very, very dyslexic, he was a bully at school because he couldn't cope with school. So he spent his time bullying people. He's not proud of that now, because he had no idea what impact he actually, had on other people at school. But that was just his way of surviving. And he said if he hadn't have bullied, he would have been bullied himself.
Yeah.
So, it's not something he's proud of now, and he would love to sort of apologise to everybody who he hadn't been very kind to when he was younger.
Yeah.
He's still only 21 now, but realises what he's done. So I think the sooner you do know and recognise that you are a bully, is find a way of talking about the things which are troubling you,
Yeah.
so people don't have to be bullied.
Yeah. I mean, I am 14 years old, and I've been bullied almost all my school life. I mean, when it started, when I was bullied, I guess I've been bullied from a very young age, but I never really realised it. But as I got older, I started to realise that I was being bullied, but not only by the kids, but by the teachers. I mean, there was a new head teacher who came in, and being autistic, I didn't like change. So I was used to this head teacher that I did have. Then this new one came in, and pretty much in the first week of her coming in, I made a petition to get her fired. I mean, I was like only about 8. I'm not sure. Yeah, about 8. And it didn't go down well. But the thing is, I not only was she mean to me after that, but I witnessed her being mean to a lot of kids there. So I think that's when I started learning about bullying. And not only does it have to be kids, but adults have capability to bully as well. I mean, when I moved into high school, I was badly bullied with my best friend. It's a very long story, so I'll keep it short. But basically, I was bullied a lot for just being different. I then fell into depression and suicidal thoughts along with my best friend, who sadly I have no contact with now. But he told my parents that I wasn't coping in school, and my parents immediately pulled me out of school to fight the council to get me into a private school, because we couldn't afford to pay for it, but they suited my needs. So he fought the council for them to pay for me, and 18 months later I'm at the school, but I'm still bullied. So I'm still bullied mostly for my Tourette's. Sometimes my Tourette's is quiet, sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's really loud, awkward on trains. But for me, bullying has always been with me, whether it's from teachers at school, or whether it's even from friends who have decided no longer to be friends with me, or being bullied for being different. Bullying has always been part of what's my life right now. Um, so that's the reason why I keep on fighting for other people, because I've been on both ends. I have been bullied, and from the results of being bullied, I have probably at some points been a bully myself. Looking back on it, looking back on it, I mean, I have been mean to people in my life, and I do regret that. Um, but being on myself being on both ends, it's really made me realize um, the effects of bullying, because I have been suicidal and depressed from bullying. So I think it's really important what you're doing and your opinions on bullying. So,
I was going to ask you a question, if you don't mind
of
me
course.
asking. Um, Something which I know I've done myself, and that's when I've heard things which haven't been very kind, I've allowed those unkind words to stay with me.
Yeah.
So then I allow them to keep bullying me, even though they're not saying it anymore.
Yeah.
So I can hear it over and over and over again. And I think allowing them into your space just gives them more room to hurt you.
Yes.
Do you think that's about, do you agree that's...
Yeah, I mean, I have something called bad thoughts OCD. So I mean, recently it's been like the whole Ebola thing. Like, my mind is telling me I have Ebola. I guess bullying can also be sort of the same as my bad thoughts OCD. Um, because people can call me ugly, and it stays in my head and goes round and round and round, and I end up believing it, as if my bad thoughts OCD was telling me I had Ebola over and over again, and I end up believing it. So, I mean, if I think mean words of people saying, "Oh, you're ugly, you're fat," I think it's very easy for you to get caught up in those bad thoughts and end up believing it. So yeah, I do agree with that one.
So not to get caught up with their drama.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, okay, so what are the aims of Respect Yourself?
Our aims are to be accessible to every young person, locally, nationally, around the world, because we're all going through similar sort of things,
Yeah,
regardless of what country we're in. We're just people. We
yeah,
want basic things like love, kindness, warmth, food, shelter. Um, and if we can be nicer on the way and kinder on the way, that's one nice thing to be working towards. What we're doing really could and should be done in lots of different languages.
yeah.
So yeah, it's very exciting. It's very, very exciting. Everybody is important,
Yeah,
regardless of age as well.
yes. Um, I mean, Respect Yourself. I mean, I am mostly on Twitter. So Respect Yourself has been really accessible to me via Twitter, because I mean, you follow me on Twitter. I am always on Twitter. Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Yes. I tend to retweet a lot of stuff and tweet a lot of pointless stuff. More than I should, really. But besides the point, I mean, it's really accessible to me. I mean, I have Facebook, but I hardly use it. I've even been cyberbullied myself on Facebook as well. So I try to keep off of things where, media-wise, I am vulnerable. But I think that's really good, because some people don't have Twitter, so they use Facebook, or vice versa.
Well,
Um,
everybody's so different, and they've got their own. But they need to find their own media they're happy to
yeah,
use,
yeah,
and this is what we want to be accessible for everybody's sort of preferred use.
yeah. Because you can also like sign up to be texted every day with a message on your phone, correct?
That's right. You can get a daily text message, and something we're very passionate about doing is creating an app, which then will mean once we've got the funding for that. At the moment, we haven't got any funding, but once we've got the funding for the app, it means it will be accessible to anybody
Yeah,
everywhere. And that's the bit we're working on right now. I think we've got to raise something like £6,000. So that will take a lot of pressure off
yeah,
us having to do a lot of fundraising. But initially, getting the app built will be brilliant, and then we can really advertise the daily message so much more as well.
yeah. That's really good idea. Creating an app, because for me, I'm always on my iPad on Twitter. Um, and social wise, I try to use as much social apps as I can, mostly YouTube and Twitter and Skype. And I mean, I have a phone that I hardly use. I mean, it's been just lying around on the table for about 3 months, being left uncharged. Um, so I think, I mean, there are people who like send like 5,000 texts a day, um, and I think that being able to sign up for something that texts you every day, it can feel very it it's a way that makes it feel very personal to you. Um,
Thank you. That's really important to know. The simple reason being is we don't actually know the people who receive the messages,
yeah,
and that's really important to us that it is private and that we don't want
yeah.
to know who these people are.
Mm.
It's nice to get some feedback.
So, do you plan to expand your organisation nationally? If so, uh, do you know when?
Well, we are very soon, hopefully, to be a charity. And once we're a charity, that's taken a lot of time, a lot of support from a lot of very, very kind people getting us to this stage. So once we're a charity, we want to open it up to everybody. Like I said earlier, with the app, that will be um, accessible to so many people, not only to young people, but to people who have learning disabilities. Learning disabilities don't go away when you're older.
Yeah,
It's you still need to know these things to keep yourself safe. In fact, when you do have a disability, it makes you more vulnerable,
yeah,
which means we should be teaching these people even more about how to be safe, how to take care of themselves, how to take care of their well-being.
yeah.
So, working with because at the moment we're working with so many different charities, like Diana Awards and Beat Bullying.
Yeah, I know beat bullying. Yeah,
Yeah. And also we make sure that missing people, all the young people who go missing every day, we always retweet them.
yeah,
We want to work with lots of charities which are available for young people.
yeah,
Certainly nationally in the UK here. We want to be working with all these charities so young people know that there is support out there and they don't have to feel on their own. And Papyrus, who take calls from young people who are feeling suicidal. Um, we're working with them. They've been very, very helpful. So, this is just part of what we're doing. We also want to be working with the NSPCC, and we don't want young people to feel like they're on their own and isolated. Nobody understands because there is support out there. It's just, we want to be working together.
yeah. That's very plausible. Um, Yeah, I mean, again, as I said earlier, you work on so many subjects, um, and especially on Twitter, because all you have to do is press one button, you retweet it to all your followers. So I think that it is very good that you are working together with other charities as well as trying to create Respect Yourself into its very own charity. Um,
Something what we always say is, young people need to know about from birth to death and all the stuff in the middle.
yeah,
But actually, people need to know about before birth and death because they're still two important sides. So like there's so many subjects we can be talking about
yeah,
and revisiting as well. So on our website, we have over 1,000 messages on there which people can tap into at any time.
yeah. I mean, as I said, there's a lot of things. I mean, I looked through some of the messages earlier, and they're really handy because they're really small messages. Again, if you're signed up for a text message, then it feels personal to you. Um, and I think especially the things that messages that are created with Respect Yourself, I think that it's really good because the messages are important, and the way that it's laid out is just so simple for youths to understand. It's very relatable. So, uh, well done.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's really, really good to hear. Thank you.
You're welcome. Um, so, why do you think young people are so drawn to the media and internet?
I should be asking you that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, awkward silence.
I don't think it's just young people. I think everybody is
Yeah.
drawn to it from one way or another.
Yeah.
It's so easy and, so, I don't know, you can learn so much from it. And also, on the negative, you can also get caught up in some really horrible stuff as
Yeah.
well.
There's a lot of hate that goes around on the internet, and I think it's really easy for young people, especially, to get caught up in it. Um, I mean, the thing that I always say is that bullying doesn't seem real to anyone but the victim. Um, I mean, the person, whether they're typing or saying it to your face, they don't realise the effect it has, and it doesn't seem real to them, like it's just some game to them. Um, and it doesn't seem real at all. For witnesses, people just uh, wipe it off their shoulder like it's nothing. Um, like it's normal to see people being beaten up on a daily basis, or having mean messages typed to people, because it's just grown into a normal part of today's society. Um, so I think that it is very easy for people, young people especially, to get caught up in all the bad stuff that goes on the internet. Do you have any upcoming events planned?
Not right at the moment, but when we become a charity, ooh, really, we are going to ask the Forum in Norwich whether we can use their outside or inside and have a celebration. We've got some things to give away, and yeah, so
That
that's
sounds very exciting.
is exciting.
I'll definitely be there if that happens.
Oh, really nice.
But for people watching, me and Claire already sort of knew each other, both from Twitter. I followed Claire, she followed me, yay. Or Respect Yourself rather, as you're known online. And then I started helping out with the public questions and started getting retweeted. I asked if I could do an interview, and here we are. Um,
Do you remember me saying to you or saying to the school that I'm actually really dyslexic myself
yes.
and I've struggled, to this day, it's very, very difficult. So I understand how difficult life can be.
Yeah.
Um, my reading and my writing is horrendous, but in a way, it gives me an added strength to make sure that other people don't go through what I went through myself,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
that's a lot about what we're doing.
yeah. I mean, for me, because I have autism, and I've been bullied, and I have suffered from depression and suicidal thoughts from the side effects of bullying. I I try to use my experiences to help others, and I think that's a lot of why Respect Yourself was created as well. Uh, Not only because the whole idea of the texting thing came about with your brother, but because of past experiences.
Hmm.
So I think that it's really, really good. I mean, everybody has their own little quirks. I mean, whether it's dyslexia, autism, any type of thing, everybody has their own little quirks, and I think that it's really good that you have created this because, well, partly because you are dyslexic yourself, and it makes it very easy for people to relate, especially if people know that you are dyslexic. Um, and it inspires people, because dyslexic people are like, this person is dyslexic and they've done amazing things and I want to do what they've done. Um,
I will just say to you though, because I'm so dyslexic, it's not me who does the
yeah.
messages. I'm not researching the messages.
Mm.
I spend a lot of time talking to the different charities and working with them.
Yes.
But that's the bit I really, really enjoy is talking to them and coming up with ideas of messages. But it's not me who actually sends the
Yeah.
messages because there'd be far too many spelling mistakes.
Yeah. And autocorrect is useless. um, okay, so do you visit any schools outside of Norfolk?
No, I've only ever visited three schools. And to be honest, and you might be able to help me out with this, I'm not sure schools is the best way forward to be talking to, or to get through to young people about what we're doing because school is school
Yeah.
and social media is actually out of school.
Yes.
And I don't know, I think it needs to be the individual's young person's choice whether they want to check out the work that we're doing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, what do you think? Do you think it's something that should be in schools?
Well, I have two views. I mean, my first view is, without you coming to my school, I would have no idea about Respect Yourself. Um, I mean, there's a chance that I may have bumped into Respect Yourself in the suggestions for who to follow. I may have heard of the name, but never actually clicked on the thing because it's just in who to follow. It doesn't say anything about who this person is without you clicking on that one profile. And I'm not going to search through the thousands of who to follow suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I don't think I would have bumped into you in the way I have, at least, without you coming to my school. But in the same way, I think that this goes for anybody who visits schools. I mean, this wasn't Respect Yourself who came, but another person, anti-bullying advocate person, came to my school and talked about bullying and ways to stop bullying and ways to not get bullied. And I thought it was great that this person was doing this. and it was great that he was saying ways that could help us get out of bullying. But
Hmm.
you're being put in a class with the whole, you're putting in a room with the whole school, bullies and the victims. So, the bullies are going to find out your weaknesses, and if they can, they will tease you on that as well. Um, I mean, I was once being called names, so I used what this person who came to my school said, and I simply said whatever it was that I said. And they said, "Oh, you used that from this guy who came to our school, haha, nerd, blah blah blah." And I mean, you're teaching the bullies as well ways to bully you. So I do think that there are two ways about it. I think it's good to visit schools, but multiple groups of small people, it's a lot of work. But if you can, that will definitely eliminate a lot of it. Maybe, because people. I mean, if you're in a small group without the person who is bullying you, and then the bully is in a group of other people, um, then they have no idea whether you have seen this or you are just using your own wits to do this comeback or whatever.
I can see that.
Yeah,
I suppose it's really is people who are being bullied, if only they could realise the bigger impact they're having on
yeah,
people, and why are they doing it?
yeah.
I was going to say to you, have you heard of Uncle Adams? He's a rapper
I
in Canada.
I have heard of him. I've heard of the name.
Okay,
Um,
he does a really good rap song about bullying, and we'll make sure we retweet it tonight, or
okay,
you can look for it. He's actually done as a personal message, so we can show this at schools. This video. Um, yeah, we can do that for tonight and send
okay.
that.
I'll definitely look out for it.
It's really good, and I think the first time I saw it, I was almost in tears. And everybody I've shown this song to, it really is very touching.
Yeah,
And I think we just need to warm, people who are being bullied. We just need to warm them up and be, hopefully, let them be kinder to themselves
yeah,
and be more honest in what's troubling them
yeah,
and being open so they can talk to people.
yeah.
If somebody's bullying, it actually says more about them than it does you.
Yes. I mean, if somebody calls you a name like, "Oh, you're ugly," that says a lot more about them than it does on you.
Absolutely.
Do you have a website?
Yes. Respectyourself.org.uk.
And what sort of stuff is on your website?
Ooh, all kinds of things. Like so, over 1,000 messages from going to your first job interview to how to open a bank account, through to relationships, through to smoking, all kinds of things.
Yeah,
It's everything a young person or anybody needs to know about.
yeah,
It just in a very simple, and also using a picture as well. So it's
yeah,
visual as well. So
yeah,
if you click onto the link, you can see a visual
yeah.
to help.
And
Because
I
people
think,
are visual as learners.
yeah, when I was younger, pictures, like I was taking tests, pictures would really help me,
Hmm.
or diagrams would really help me in learning. Um, so I think the visual side of it is really good. Um,
Does that help? Do you find that helps?
yeah, I do find that it helps. I mean, some of the pictures are used like more than once,
Hmm.
um, but I do think that it does help, especially to categorize it isn't quite the right word, but if people are being beaten up, then that can be bullying, for example, or domestic violence, or I don't know. But it's good to categorize. Like, before you read the title, you can see the picture, and it's, oh, I'm interested in this because it's this category. So I think in that way it's really good. I think that the visual side of it does help me to understand as well the message. So I do think that it does help.
Is this something you would, I mean, you've got the choice, and this is why everybody's so different. You can have these messages and keep them to yourself, or you can have the messages and share them with people you think who also need to know about certain things about bullying, or how to get help or support, or they haven't thought about something in that particular way. So it depends on who you are receiving the messages.
Yeah.
So it depends. Not everybody wants to share. It's something. It was actually said to me once, because I do know a couple of other people who receive the messages, and she actually said to me it's like receiving a message from her mum every day. And that was really nice, because her mum died when she was young. To think that's how she sort of felt that the messages helped her, but she kept the messages secret and didn't tell anybody else about them, because she felt that was her piece of support.
Yeah.
So that worked for her.
I mean, as I said, the messages can feel personal to you. I think it feels more personal on both the website and texts. But, I mean, that's my personal opinion, because it isn't... I mean, on the website it said publicly, and even texting it said publicly. But it's a different environment, and it feels personal to you. I mean, there are so many subjects. As you said, over 1,000 messages that you can search through.
The thing is, though, the things which are really difficult to talk about are really the ones we should be talking about.
Yeah.
So they're not hidden away and you feel embarrassed and not know who to ask the questions about that. So it's really important. I mean, the messages are all sourced from the NHS through to everything, let's say, is researched from good sources. So it's not we just think of a message and think, oh, that'll do. It's really important that you can go and find out more about the subject if you need to.
Yeah. I mean, it's very good. You can know, like, if you have this certain issue or something, you can learn more about it if wanted. And it's quick and easy. So I think that aspect is really good, because the messages are so small and simple that they can be read almost anywhere, and you don't have to talk to anybody about it if you don't want to. So I think it's good. I mean, it was my first time visiting the website today, actually, because before I just used Twitter. So the messages side of it, because as much as it may seem like it, I'm not actually on Twitter 24/7. I mean, I go to school, I eat, I sleep. So I'm not always on Twitter 24/7, I promise. But I mean, there will be messages that I miss, and this archive of messages on the website I think is really good, because they're all archived.
Archived.
Archived. And
so if it's a particular area you're struggling with, or you need help with, or you just want to check. But also, if there's any subjects which are something which you think would be useful to young people, people could also send us messages through our website, which they think might be a good idea. So, we just want to be working with everybody, so everything's accessible to every young person. But yeah, have you got any suggestions that you think would be useful, like money or something which is concerning you, which we haven't talked about already? We want to know that we're getting it right.
Yeah.
What do I know? I'm just an old person.
Yeah.
We like to think we're getting it right, and the comments we're getting back and everything, we know we're heading the right direction, but
Yeah.
we do still need to check that we are getting it right.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I imagine with messages every day, it's really feedback is really important for an organisation like Respect Yourself. Feedback is almost essential because you need to know that the stuff you're saying is helpful. Um, and
and we don't bore anybody or lose anybody. We want to
yeah,
keep it, topical and current.
yeah,
At the same time, when there's things on the news, which I think that'd be a really good message, and we turn it into a message.
yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I was looking at some of the tweets that you have sent celebrities and they have come back. I mean,
Mm.
anti-bullying week, you sent messages to Paul Potts because he was bullied.
Yes.
I mean, I saw the film about Paul Potts, played by James Corden, and it was really, really good. I mean,
He does follow us on Twitter as well. The
fan
more you
bases.
talk about it, the more the people who don't understand about it
Yeah,
are going to start understanding
yeah,
about it if they just take the time to listen.
yeah,
Because they'll never know what you're going through if they don't take the time to understand you.
definitely.
So keep up your good work.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Okay, so how can we donate?
All the details are on the website. There's a donate button.
Yeah, I'll also put the link to the website in the description. There should be an annotation like right here, if I remember. Hopefully I remember. Maybe. But yeah, it should be there. If it's not in an annotation, it will be in the description. So make sure that you do check the website. It is a really good website. And it says a lot of things. I mean, if you're interested in the celebrities that have tweeted Respect Yourself, I highly suggest you go look there because Paul Potts, Davina McCall, John Hurt, seriously, respect yourself. That was awesome.
And what messages they say are actually about being kind.
Yeah,
They're really nice messages, aren't they?
yeah, very. And I think especially about the fan bases, I mean, because people who follow Davina McCall, for example, because she has tweeted you with advice. I mean, her fan base will now know about Respect Yourself.
Yeah.
And
We're followed by so many lovely people, so many celebrities. But the
yeah,
most important thing is about the young people who are following us.
yeah,
We are there to
yeah.
help.
But
Indirectly, we don't want to get to know them. I mean, you're a little bit different because I've already met you. But the whole idea is that we're not here to chat to them about that they've had a rough day at school.
yeah,
We want them to find ways and solutions about dealing with the tough times they've had.
yeah.
So that's really we want to be friends with them, but not directly, if you know what I mean. Everybody's important.
It's a really good goal to have. And it's a really good organisation. In brackets, soon to be charity. And I wish you the best of luck with getting the app and everything.
That is my next. Well, that's our big push we've got to be doing, and I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. But we're hoping, and you'll be one of the first ones to know if this does happen, that we have some celebrities come down and raise some funds for us.
Well, I actually recently did this thing called Awareness Craft, where I basically put charity through Minecraft. I live streamed Minecraft to almost 100 people at once. I mean, there are Minecraft YouTubers like Corrales, for example, who have more than 1 million subscribers. And he helped me with this Awareness Craft. And I brought charity into Minecraft. So I was actually thinking about what I would like to do next, because I definitely want to do Awareness Craft or raising money again. So if you need any help, I would
If we could somehow raise some money towards this app, and also that it's young people who are interested in raising the money for the app, that shows that young people are wanting it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll be really honest with you, I don't understand Minecraft, but my little girl talks about it constantly, and my boy, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
It's too much for me. But they think about it as soon as they wake up and going to sleep, constantly on their mind, and meeting new people. But they love it. So this is how young people think now, and this is what they're interested in. So yeah, it's nice to have something relaxing you can do without hurting people.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I mean, as I said, Minecraft has a huge fan base. And I bought charity into Minecraft to raise awareness about bullying. And that brought a lot of people, because especially because you can play multiplayer with Minecraft, it is also easy for you to be cyberbullied. Because you're interacting with strangers online who you don't know, and they can bully you, or be racist or sexist, or just say you're ugly, even though they've never seen you. And I think that, especially in the Minecraft community, that Awareness Craft bullying, I think it was really successful, because, I mean, almost everybody who plays Minecraft has had somebody be mean to them via a Minecraft. That is the last of our questions. Thank you for agreeing to do this interview. It is very much appreciated. Thank you all for watching. Again, the website will be down in the description or in the annotation. Previously, when I said there would be an annotation, either that or I flapped my arms about randomly because I thought there would be an annotation there. But yes, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me, Claire.
Thank you.
And yes, hope to see that app up and running soon. And yeah,
Let's do it.
Yeah, good luck in the future of Respect Yourself. It's a really good organisation, and I think you're doing really well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.